Welcome to another Delia Secondary Lunch and Learn, informal teacher PD every Wednesday at lunch. Today I'm going to talk about a topic I'm really passionate about and one that comes up at a lot of the conferences and workshops I've been attending, and that's using videos to enhance learning. Now last week I talked about how teachers can utilize YouTube to flip content or deliver content in a different method. This week I'm going to talk more about student-centered practices that utilize this power of video. For example, Ms. Young and Ms. Mahoney often film the drama and dance classes so that students can look back at the videos and see where they need to improve. I also think the PE department does a fantastic job of utilizing videos, where they will film students playing various sports, then they'll go back and together, individually, they'll analyze the footage and they can see whether they're moving around the court, how their form is, all these different things. So I think they really utilize video in an effective way. Now, in dance and drama and gym, it seems obvious that we would use video as these are movement subjects, and so it goes hand in hand. But there's video being used in other subjects as well effectively. So here Miss Law filmed the students testing their bridges, but you could easily see how you could film any sort of lab being done in science. Have one student in the group film the lab that you're doing, and then it's much easier for students to look back on this format and write a more detailed report for the class. In middle school English, we got into a pattern of filming students presenting to the class. So instead of the teacher presenting ideas, we had students do it, and we filmed these and uploaded them to YouTube so students were able to view how they were presenting. So I found that as a teacher, I no longer had to give feedback to the students that can seem sort of critical. They were able to see where they needed to improve just by watching the video of themselves. So it seemed like a much better way for them to self-assess and improve their skills. Ms. Leeson took it a step further when she had her middle school ESL students make biography presentations using Screencast-Matic. So these students had a real fear of presenting in front of their peers, and so what she allowed them to do is film their presentation at home, and then they can just play the video in class. So here this student did a biography about her mother, so her mother's also in this video. But what's so fantastic is this mother commented that the student had taped this 4 or 5 different times, and so she was practicing this presentation a lot more than perhaps she might have if she was just presenting in front of the class. So there's this accountability piece that's often attached to making a video that is more permanent than just a presentation that lasts one moment. Mr. Connors also utilizes screencast in his English class to get students thinking about the process of writing. So here he had students explain why they chose specific quotations from the book to support their thesis, and why other parts were written the way they were. Instead of writing a self-reflection after the fact, he's really having students look back at their work and break down their writing so that not only they understand it better, but he as a teacher has a better understanding of the thought processes that students are having. Another way you can make this thinking visible is by annotating videos. So here in PE class, Mr. Riddick had students make a video about different movements, but then break down the video and add text explaining what different types of movement were being used. So this was just a Video Notes Chrome extension, but Zaption is another really great tool for annotating videos. Next I'll talk about remixing videos, this idea of sort of mashups or samplers, taking bits of different videos that already exist and putting them together to write our own message. Lawrence Lessig is a law professor at Harvard and actually one of the founders of the Creative Commons, and he talks about this remix culture as tools of creativity, and these tools of creativity are actually tools of speech. That this is a new literacy, this piecing together multimedia content is a literacy in the same way that piecing together words was a literacy of the past. Some examples of this sort of remixing can be found over and over in political satire such as Colbert, One example was when he does Trump versus Trump debates. So finding media clips where Trump is actually contradicting himself and mashing together this debate with himself. Great would that be if students, instead of doing a presentation about stereotypes in the media, just piece together all these different clips from music videos or commercials, things like that, that really show this message instead of just talk about gender stereotypes. Or what if students find primary documentation from the Vietnam War and told their own story about the two different sides happening just through footage that already exists? Now the tricky part is copyright in all of this. We can't just take any clips and start mashing them all together, but there are places we can go, such as Vimeo, and they organize videos by Creative Commons labels, so students would be able to download videos and remix them together. Or YouTube has a built-in video editor where you can take different videos from YouTube and mash them together. Last, I'll talk about producing videos, so having students create their own videos as a project. And we can do this through software such as Powtoons or GoAnimate to actually create an animation from scratch. Or, as Mr. Connors in his grade 10 class had students do, is make a video of a speech they wrote. Ellen had her students talk about something they're passionate about by doing their own TED Talks in her class. Now we're pretty good at doing these video projects for students, but perhaps what we don't focus on as much is the assessment for learning, how video can really be used throughout the learning process. For example, when Mr. Iman saw that his students weren't understanding Shakespeare, he started guerrilla theater, where they would crudely act out all of the scenes, and then they pieced together all of these scenes from throughout the unit, and they essentially made their own video, and this was done quite crudely. He just taped green pieces of paper to the wall for a green screen and pieced it all together at the end. So it doesn't take a lot of production to make something that would be really useful for the students. PE example, the teachers actually strap GoPros to the heads of students, and so when they go back and found the footage, whether students were looking around for open space, whether they were looking to make sure their teammates were around them, and really analyze the game sense that was happening. Mosley and Ms. DeCastro had students show their understanding of DNA replication when they did a short stop-motion animation that really showed visually how this process happens. Now this wasn't this was just a check-in, an assessment to see whether the students were understanding these concepts before they moved on. And in Mr. Vachon's class, he had students make videos where they were verbalizing what they were thinking while solving mathematical problems. He's better able to see where the breakdown is and what their understanding is, but the students themselves are also thinking about their thinking, and so it encourages this metacognition that we're always after. And remember this? Speaker's Corner, where anybody from the public could go into this video booth and give their opinion on a whole range of topics. Well, Mr. McKenna applied this to his civics class and actually had students talk about the topics that were going on in the class. Students just did a short vlog and they shared them with each other, so they were able to get opinions of other people. They get to form their own opinion on that topic. And it's a really great method for engaging students in conversation in a format that's not just text-based. When using video in the classroom, it's important that these videos are created for an authentic audience. And this audience could be as simple as the student themselves, just to re-watch what they've been doing so that they can improve on their skills. This audience could be the class itself to better engage students in authentic conversations about the topics you're doing, or that authentic audience could be the greater public. It could be sharing their work out on the internet, not just putting something up on YouTube and maybe someone will watch it, but really engaging other people in the world to watch our videos and have a conversation that transcends our own classroom walls. Students should also be given multiple opportunities when creating video. So if you're filming students doing a certain project, like presenting in front of the class, ensure that there's follow-up opportunities for them to apply the feedback that either you've given them or they've given themselves. Also, when making short vlogs, it's important to set up a sort of routine where students get used to how to make a video, where to upload it, how long it should be. The more routine you can establish, the more the students can focus on the learning and not on the technological issues that will probably arise. And finally, it's important to teach the language of video if you're encouraging students to produce videos. By language of video, I mean the architecture, having different camera angles, having fade-ins, music that matches what's going on in the video. If we're not showing lots of examples to students, they won't understand this language that comes alongside video. If we teach students the language of video when they're producing, they'll then be able to apply this when they're analyzing videos in their own world. So that's all today for videos for learning. Join me next week for another Delia Secondary Lunch and Learn, Informal Teacher PD every Wednesday at lunch.